¿Soy el único que se ha dado cuenta que no está avanzando la divulgación oficial OVNI? ¿Que desde el informe previo de junio del año 2021 no ha habido noticias ni actualizaciones? ¿Alguien de vosotros lo ve normal? Recientemente The Hill ha hecho un avance, preguntas, cosas que ya sabemos y otras que todavía no. Pero veréis, bajo mi punto de vista estamos viendo un show, un espectáculo, y van a darnos información que debemos de comprender entre líneas.
So that leaves you wondering then what hypothesis best fits the facts. And frankly,
the alien hypothesis fits the facts.
Better than the alternatives. I'm afraid I have to say that.
Está el bromista, el escéptico, la creyente y ni más ni menos que el ex subsecretario adjunto de Defensa Christopher Mellon, un pilar para la divulgación oficial OVNI. Bueno, pese lo que pese, no son ovnis, sino vehículos extraterrestres. Hay pruebas, casos y mucho silencio. ¿De qué va todo esto? Pues básicamente que el Congreso aprieta hacia la divulgación oficial, quieren respuestas y los militares quieren ocultar el secreto. Para romper el hielo, escuchemos primero al bromista.
There's no shame in getting your airspace invaded by an alien. Well, like, why do they think that they're going to get hauled before Congress? Like, how did you allow these aliens to, like, you know, get into your zone outside Hawaii or whatever?
El buen periodismo, ¿verdad? No hay vergüenza en que los extraterrestres invadan el espacio aéreo. A lo mejor ellos quieren ser llevados ante el Congreso de los Estados Unidos. Patético, esa es la palabra, pero esto viene con referencia a que la divulgación oficial está saliendo mayoritariamente de la Marina. Ya sabéis, los encargados inicialmente del mar, no del aire, y la USAF son los que tendrían mayor capacidad para detectar ovnis en el cielo, así que el secretismo es básicamente para no dejar mal a uno u otro cuerpo militar. Ahora viene la primera perlita, estad atentos.
We're gonna find out we were subsidizing the aliens.
Yeah.
we're authorizing NIH experiments there.
Oh, is that what
They were
it is?
trained at the School
These
of
are
Americas.
lab creatures that are now super sophisticated.
El escéptico entre risas dice: estamos subsidiando extraterrestres. Se lanza la hipótesis de laboratorios súper sofisticados con ayuda extraterrestre.
Well, imagine for a second that you do have something very sensitive that you're trying to conceal, and Congress is asking you for information about that general topic. You want to be responsive, but you also want to protect that information. How do you square that circle?
Right.
And so I think that's part of the problem they're confronted with.
So can you tell us from your perspective, what's the chance that these unidentified aerial phenomenon, they are our own military, maybe our own secret weaponry, maybe being developed even in the private sector alongside the military? What are the chances it's a foreign military versus the chances that it's actual alien?
Well, it's very interesting. The report submitted by the Director of National Intelligence said we see no evidence that it's from a foreign government. None of the instances, the 144 incidents they identified, could be explained by U.S. classified research programs. So that leaves you wondering then what hypothesis best fits the facts. And frankly, the alien hypothesis fits the facts better than the alternatives. I'm afraid I have to say that.
That's exciting. I know Robbie doesn't believe it, but
I'm not questioning our subject matter expert. I haven't seen any evidence, and I'm innately skeptical of it. But no, there it is.
It's good to be skeptical. That's the appropriate position scientifically. We should be skeptical and continue to be.
And again, if our subject matter expert thinks that's the most likely explanation, I want to hear that actually said, rather than danced around and be like, well, we don't really know. Who knows what it could be? So
I mean, the good news is, look, if it is alien, and we've been having these aliens visiting us for the last 20 years that we know of, that we have documentation of, probably much longer than that. If we go back to all of the people who've made claims, then they're benevolent, right? Or at least they're not hostile. Otherwise, they would have. Right, so there should. So to me, it's exciting. It's not something to fear. It's exciting, unless they're playing the long game and they're just waiting to attack us. They're like plotting out because they live 1,000 years. We only live like 70 and they live 1,000, and so they're waiting for their time. I don't
Ahora
know,
es
but
cuando la
otherwise I
cosa
think
se
it's kind of-
pone más seria. Ya se habla de la visita de extraterrestres en los últimos 20 años, pero profundizan más y posiblemente su incremento es a partir de las primeras detonaciones de bombas nucleares. Y ojo, así suelta, son benevolentes, deben de serlo, es decir, que son buenos, que han estado aquí durante un largo periodo de tiempo, al menos esto es lo que están dejando entender, dar el mensaje que si son extraterrestres, que es la única posibilidad, dado que se descarta programas secretos y tecnología extranjera de otros países, serán buenos, y eso debe de ser emocionante.
exciting.
I think they're probably messing with our elections.
Maybe that's
Well,
them.
This
Maybe.
goes back to at least World War II, and the reason we're concerned about it from a national security standpoint is so much of this activity is in and around military training and operating areas and military facilities. If they were just cruising through national parks or something, we'd have a lot less concern. But in some cases, they're swarming Navy ships, they're swarming Air Force bases, they're interrupting planned training operations. So that's why it becomes a concern from a national security standpoint.
Although some experts on this issue say that they believe that that if it is alien, that they're actually preventing us from using nuclear weapons. That these sightings began after we started testing nuclear weapons and deploying nuclear weapons, and that they are in fact they know something about how that affects maybe space better than we do, and they're coming in to kind of prevent us from doing this. That's one of the theories that has been out there, that they've been disarming even nuclear weapons. Maybe they're saving us from ourselves.
You're quite right. It's not just a theory. It's been testified to by numerous retired military officers, Air Force officers themselves. And yet, to my knowledge, Congress has never asked that question. That is hanging out there as a sensational claim. It should be easy to put it to rest one way or the other, but Congress has never asked the question.
Así que resumiendo, la divulgación va lenta, llevan más de medio año y no han dado más explicación. Mellon se declina por la realidad extraterrestre. El secretismo es porque no saben cómo exponer esta realidad al público. Pero hay buenas noticias, descartan tecnología militar extranjera y estadounidense secreta, así que más claro el agua. Se está demorando la divulgación, pero es una auténtica realidad. Espero que os haya gustado el avance sobre la nueva divulgación oficial, el espectáculo mediático, la forma de sacarle paja al asunto, con mucha comedia, aunque se hable de cosas serias. Así es América y así va el mundo. Amigos, muchísimas gracias, habéis compartido este tweet pidiéndole a Elon Musk que nos ayude a lanzar un satélite. ¿Por qué no? Bocoin, con cámaras para buscar ovnis. Se ha compartido 500 veces. Esto es una locura. Hay 700 corazoncitos. Quiero que sepáis que hoy justamente a la 1 del mediodía aproximadamente le he enviado un correo a SpaceX. Que por favor nos ayuden. Si podéis compartirlo, será de gran ayuda. ¿Creéis que alguien nos va a contestar? Amigos, gracias. Me despido.